modern habits that quietly destroy your brain, and what neuroscience says you should do instead. Imagine this. You're not in pain, you're not sick, and yet something feels off. Your memory slips, your attention drifts. You feel mentally tired even after a good night's sleep. You're not alone. In recent years, a quiet epidemic has taken root. The slow erosion of brain health happening not through dramatic trauma, but through daily, seemingly harmless habits. Science now shows that many modern lifestyles are quietly sabotaging our brain function, accelerating cognitive decline, and leaving millions with diminished focus, memory, and even emotional resilience. But here's the good news. Neuroscience is not just identifying the problems, it's revealing powerful, practical solutions. In this video, we'll explore 7 modern habits that silently destroy your brain, and more importantly, what neuroscience says you should do instead. Stick with us to the end. We'll also provide a simple, science-backed daily routine you can start today to protect and even rebuild your brain. 1. Multitasking and constant switching. The myth of productivity. Let's begin with one of the most celebrated and most dangerous modern habits, multitasking. We live in an age where doing just one thing feels lazy. Email while listening to music, scrolling Instagram during dinner, watching videos while texting. But here's what brain science says. Our brains cannot actually multitask. They rapidly switch between tasks, and that switch comes with a cognitive cost. Dr. Earl Miller, a neuroscientist at MIT, says it clearly. Your brain is not wired to multitask well. When people think they're multitasking, they're actually just switching from one task to another rapidly. And every time they do, there's a cognitive cost. What does this mean for you? Studies show that constant task switching reduces IQ temporarily by up to 15 points, increases errors, and leads to shallower thinking. Over time, this behavior rewires the brain for distraction, not depth. What to do instead? Use the Pomodoro technique. Work in focused 25-minute blocks followed by short breaks. Turn off notifications. Each buzz trains your brain to crave novelty. Practice deep work focus on one task with full attention for at least 60-90 minutes daily. Neuroscientist Andrew Huberman suggests this trains the prefrontal cortex, the command center of focus and discipline. 2. Chronic sleep deprivation. The invisible brain killer. You may think of sleep as rest, but your brain treats it as an essential maintenance cycle. During deep sleep, your brain's glymphatic system clears out waste products like beta-amyloid protein linked to Alzheimer's disease. Without enough sleep, this waste builds up. Over weeks, months, and years, this can contribute to memory loss, mood instability, and poor decision-making. In one famous study from the University of Pennsylvania, participants limited to 6 hours of sleep per night for 2 weeks performed as poorly on cognitive tests as those who were completely sleep-deprived for 48 hours. What to do instead? Prioritize 7-9 hours of quality sleep. Stick to a consistent sleep schedule even on weekends. Avoid blue light exposure 1-2 hours before bed. It delays melatonin production. Wind down with meditation, journaling, or reading. Bonus tip: subscribe to the channel for more videos. Like and comment. Deep sleep, stage 3, is where the brain cleans itself. To maximize deep sleep, avoid caffeine after 2 p.m. and keep your bedroom cool and dark. 3. Sitting too much and moving too little. We often separate body and brain, but neuroscience doesn't. Movement fuels cognition. Aerobic exercise increases levels of brain-derived neurotrophic factor, BDNF, protein that acts like brain fertilizer. BDNF promotes neurogenesis, strengthens synapses, and protects against age-related decline. A study published in PNAS showed that older adults who walked briskly for just 40 minutes 3 times a week actually increased the size of their hippocampus D brain's memory center. Meanwhile, prolonged sitting reduces blood flow to the brain, which impairs memory and focus. What to do instead? Move every hour. Even 2-3 minutes of walking can restore circulation. Aim for 150 minutes of moderate aerobic activity per week. Add resistance training twice a week. This boosts testosterone and growth hormone, which benefit cognitive function. Don't underestimate walking. In evolutionary terms, the brain developed during movement, not rest. 4. Poor nutrition. Feeding the fog. The standard modern diet high in sugar, processed carbs, and seed oils creates chronic inflammation. And chronic inflammation is now linked to neurodegenerative diseases, depression, and reduced cognitive flexibility. One key problem: glucose spikes. After a sugary meal, your blood sugar surges, followed by a crash. This roller coaster impacts mood, memory, and energy. Over time, it increases the risk of insulin resistance, which also affects the brain. Some researchers call Alzheimer's type 3 diabetes for this reason. Also dangerous: omega-6 to omega-3 imbalance. Our ancestors had a 1:1 ratio. Today, it's closer to 20, one favoring inflammation. What to do instead? Prioritize a Mediterranean-style diet, high in vegetables, healthy fats, especially olive oil and avocados, and lean proteins. Eat more omega-3s found in fatty fish, flaxseed, and walnuts. Avoid added sugars and refined carbs. Consider intermittent fasting, e.g. 16-8, which improves insulin sensitivity and activates autophagy, the brain's cleanup system. 5. Social isolation, the hidden brain stressor. You might think of social connection as emotional, but neuroscience shows it's deeply biological. Loneliness increases cortisol, the stress hormone, and over time, chronic cortisol exposure can damage the hippocampus, shrink the prefrontal cortex, and even increase risk of dementia. One study published in Nature Neuroscience found that social isolation alters gene expression in the brain's reward circuitry, leading to increased anxiety, lower motivation, and cognitive decline. And yet, we live in the most connected time in history on screens, not in person. What to do instead? Prioritize real-world connection calls, visits, and quality time. Join group activities clubs, classes, or volunteer work. Practice empathy and gratitude. Both activate the brain's social and reward centers. Subscribe to the channel for more videos. Like and comment. Even short, regular conversations boost brain chemistry. Connection isn't a luxury, it's neurological nourishment. 6. Constant dopamine stimulation, the overdrive problem. Every scroll, click, and like gives your brain a hit of dopamine, the neurochemical of motivation and reward. But constant stimulation leads to dopamine desensitization. Your brain needs more input to feel the same pleasure. Over time, this leads to boredom, apathy, and reduced attention span. The real danger: it also hijacks your motivation system. You may find it harder to do hard, meaningful work because your brain has been conditioned to seek easy rewards. Neuroscientist Dr. Anna Lemke calls this the dopamine economy, a constant tug-of-war between pleasure and pain. What to do instead? Practice dopamine fasting, take regular breaks from screens, entertainment, and stimulation. Delay gratification. Train your brain to enjoy challenge over reward. Do more activities that create deep dopamine: reading, creating, learning, exercising. Use apps intentionally, don't let them use you. Your brain wasn't designed for infinite stimulation. Give it room to reset. 7. Neglecting mental challenges. Use it or lose it. The brain is a muscle, ignore it, and it shrinks. Studies show that cognitive inactivity increases risk for dementia, while lifelong learning builds what researchers call cognitive reserve, a buffer that protects the brain from age-related decline. Dr. Yakov Stern at Columbia University found that people with higher cognitive reserve show less cognitive impairment, even when brain scans revealed physical deterioration. But modern life encourages passive consumption, not active creation. What to do instead? Learn a new language, instrument, or skill. Solve puzzles, read complex texts, or take online courses. Practice deliberate learning, not just watching, but applying and testing what you learn. Teach others this strengthens memory and understanding. The more you challenge your brain, the longer it stays sharp. The brain protecting daily routine. Here's a neuroscience-backed daily routine to rebuild and protect your brain. Morning, 7:10 a.m. Wake at the same time daily. 5-10 minutes of sunlight exposure. Light exercise or walk. High protein, low sugar breakfast. 60-90 minutes of focused work, no multitasking. Midday, 10 a.m., 2 p.m. Deep work session or learning block. Short walk every hour. Social interaction call, a friend or coworker. Light, brain-friendly lunch. Protein, healthy fats, veggies. Afternoon, 2-6 p.m. More focused work or creative time. 20-30 minutes of exercise, cardio, or strength. Avoid caffeine after 2 p.m. Evening, 6-10 p.m. Light dinner, no added sugar. Wind down routine, journaling, gratitude, or reading. No screens 1 hour before bed. Aim for 7-9 hours of sleep. You're not doomed, you're in control. The scariest thing about brain decline is how quietly it creeps in. But that's also the most hopeful part, because small, quiet changes can reverse it. You don't need perfect genetics or a magic pill. You need awareness and action. Each of these habits is a lever. Pull them one by one, and you begin to reshape your brain not just for today, but for decades to come. This is not just about avoiding disease. It's about protecting your memory, your focus, your peace of mind, yourself. Your brain is the most powerful tool you'll ever own. Use it wisely, and it will serve you well.